One end of a thermally insulated rod is kept at a temperature T1 and the other is at T2, right? This is basically at this end is at T1 and this end is at T2. The rod is composed of two sections of length L1 and L2 of thermal conductivities K1 and K2 respectively. This section, this is having a length L1 and this section is having a length L2, right? And the thermal conductivity is K1 and it is having a thermal conductivity K2. Now what is the temperature of the interface? Let this be Ti, let us suppose, interface, right? Let us suppose this is Ti. So how will we calculate? Now if let us suppose heat is flowing from here, if T2 is greater than T1, so what will happen? Heat will flow from here to here, right? So basically heat will be, the rate of heat transfer will be constant throughout, right? So that means dq by dt for, let us mark this A, B and C. For section AB, will be equal to what? K1 into A divided by of L1 into delta T. Delta T is what? Ti minus T1, right? And dq by dt for section CB will be equal to what? K2 into A divided by L2 into T2 minus Ti, right? Because area of the cross section is same. Now these two values are equal because the rate of heat transfer should be same. That means I can directly write it as K1 by L1 into A Ti minus T1. This should be equal to what? K2 into A by L2 into T2 minus Ti, right? I can cancel out A and A and I need the value of Ti. So what will I do? I'll take this Ti to over here also and I'll take this T1 to here. So that means K1 by L1 Ti plus K2 by L2 Ti. This will be equal to what? K2 by L2 into T2 plus K1 by L1 into T1, right? So I can take T1 Ti common over here. I'll get, what will I get? I'll get K1 L2 plus K2 L1 divided by of L1 into L2, right? So this will be equal to what? Again K2 L1 T2 minus K1, sorry, plus K1 L2 T1 divided by of what? L1 L2. Now L1 L2 will cancel out. So I can take this thing in the denominator and I can calculate the value of Ti. So Ti will be equal to what? A is the wrong. We can see the answer. B is also wrong. C is K2 L1 T1. This is also wrong. D is correct. K1 L2 T1 plus K2 L1 T2 divided by K1 L2 plus K2 L1. That means option D is correct. So we have seen, that questions like this based on basically heat transfer. So we can see that, questions like these which involve the concept of heat transfer, right? These concept has come a lot in the paper along with the concept earlier we used of radiation. Radiation and this heat transfer are being asked majorly and also for finding the gamma mixture, right? These three concepts have been generally asked in AIEEE. So it's very important to do these concepts thoroughly because similar questions can be expected in this year paper also.